A small state in Central America attempted to construct a city powered exclusively by cryptocurrencies, fueled by volcanic energy. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel, doesn't it? But this is exactly what El Salvador has been pursuing as part of its strategy. However, 2 years down the line, the only thing that seems to be burning is the $17 billion intended for the project. What exactly happened to El Salvador's ambitious Bitcoin city? In 2021, Nayib Bukele made headlines worldwide by declaring Bitcoin as legal tender in El Salvador, a bold move that made the country the first nation state to operate on crypto at such a scale. Yet Bukele wasn't finished. He envisioned something even bigger, a city that would be a technological hub, built on a cryptocurrency framework and powered by the raw energy of a volcano. This wasn't just another infrastructure project, it was a statement, a symbol of a future where technology and the environment are interdependent. Bitcoin City was planned as a utopia with no taxes, no income tax, no property tax, and no capital gains tax. The plan appeared simple, liberty in its purest form. The city would be free of carbon emissions, with all its energy generated from geothermal sources, a perfect package of sustainability and futuristic living. But how do you finance such a daring idea? Enter the volcano bonds, a $1 billion bond issue, with $500 million allocated for the construction of Bitcoin City, and the other $500 million for acquiring Bitcoin. The concept was that as Bitcoin's price increased, so would the yields on these bonds, making them highly attractive to investors. The bonds were supposed to be issued in 2022, but as you might have guessed, things didn't go quite as planned. Shortly after the announcement, Bitcoin's value began to plummet, and investors lost confidence. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Any first-time Bitcoin investor can tell you that this is an investment far from stable. Its value can soar one day and plummet the next, which is exactly what happened after Bukele's announcement. The price of Bitcoin fell dramatically, and with it, the faith of El Salvador's citizens in their president's strategy. This fluctuation wasn't just a minor blip, it posed a significant problem to the very foundation of Bitcoin City. The entire project's success depended on Bitcoin's value. When that didn't materialize as expected, the situation began to deteriorate. As of 2024, the status of Bitcoin City is at best ambiguous. The government has managed to mine about $29 million worth of Bitcoin using geothermal energy. But this is still far from the $17 billion needed to kickstart the city. Similarly, there is no clear schedule for when the volcano bonds will be released, or if they ever will be. And the city itself, well, it remains a vision. Bitcoin City is in a state of uncertainty, unable to attract the right kind of investment to fulfill its promoters' dreams of making it a premier financial hub. The site where the city was planned still lies vacant. President Nayib Bukele. Bukele has always been a controversial figure, both among the Salvadoran people and the global community. His determination to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender was described by some as visionary and by others as reckless and ridiculous. As the development of Bitcoin City slowed, political support for the project unsurprisingly began to wane. Doubts arose due to the delay in issuing the volcano bonds and the apparent lack of progress on the city's development. Was this an innovative decision or a risky gamble? Now, let's talk about the challenge of green Bitcoin. One of the most appealing features of Bitcoin City was its use of geothermal energy for global Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin has long been criticized for the energy-intensive process of mining. By harnessing geothermal power, El Salvador sought to produce green Bitcoin, addressing a significant weakness of the cryptocurrency. To be fair, some progress has been made. The government has established a geothermal mining center, where Bitcoin has been mined using energy from the nation's volcanoes. This achievement is one of Bukele's few successes, proving that the idea of green Bitcoin is feasible. However, the $29 million mined so far pales in comparison to the $17 billion needed to fund Bitcoin City. Now, let's talk about El Salvador's broader challenges. Beyond the technological and political concerns, there are also economic challenges in El Salvador. This small Central American country has long struggled with poverty, crime, and limited economic development. These were the very challenges the president cited as reasons to embrace Bitcoin City, to build a new economy based on blockchain, create new jobs, and position El Salvador as a world leader in cryptocurrency use. Yet, the greater the ambition, the greater the risk. And in case of the Bitcoin City, those risks were colossal. The project's success hinged on the growth of Bitcoin's value, an expectation that has not been met. When Bitcoin's price dropped, the possibility of funding the city through volcanoes bonds vanished, leaving the government in an awkward position, advocating for an elaborate process with no means to fund it. Worsening the situation is the general economic state of El Salvador. The economy is vulnerable, and the adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender has been controversial, to say the least. Critics argue that the government's focus on Bitcoin City detracts from more pressing issues, such as eradicating poverty, building infrastructure, and combating crime. And now the big question: what do the people of El Salvador think of all of this? Well, public opinion is understandably divided. On one hand, some view the president's vision as the only progressive path forward, seeing Bitcoin City as an opportunity to transform El Salvador and attract jobs, capital, and global attention. On the other hand, many are skeptical, frustrated by the months of stagnation and the slow pace of progress. The initial enthusiasm for Bitcoin City has waned, replaced by skepticism, anger, and in some cases, disappointment. To be honest, it's hard to say what the next step is for Bitcoin City. The project does still exist in some form, so who knows what may happen. If Bitcoin's value rises again, which it has been lately, there could be a renewed interest in the volcano bonds, providing the necessary funds to move the project forward. If not, the government may need to explore alternative financing methods or scale back its ambitions to make the project more realistic. Bitcoin City is not just a failed project or a halted idea. It's a case study in the challenges of cryptocurrency innovation. It's a story of both the opportunities and the pitfalls of attempting something truly groundbreaking. Through El Salvador's experience, we are reminded that sometimes, even with the best intentions and the greatest plans, things don't work out as planned.